All you need to do is believe in yourself. And if you can believe in yourself, other people will too, because confidence is key, in my opinion.
You are now listening to the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, the Going North podcast. I'm your host, certified leadership trainer with the John Maxwell team, and best-selling author of the book, Stay the Course, DomBrightmon. And you're going to be getting some wonderful tips and techniques to advance yourself coming up next. Today's review highlight comes from G.E. Roth himself, and his review is a 5-star review titled Great Show by Great Guy. Dominic's passion comes through his shows. He has a great message and is a great interviewer. Always looking forward to the next episode. Keep it going, Dom. Thanks a bunch, GE. Appreciate you for the review, my man. And if you too want your review highlighted on a future episode and read aloud for folks to hear, head over to goingnorthpodcast.com and leave a review. And it'll be read in the future on a future episode. And speaking of future episode, let's continue on with today's episode. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as the Going North Podcast, GFP, the Great, Glorious, and Glamorous, the Going North Podcast, we got another super special, awesome human for you today. That's right, indeed, another super special, awesome human, courtesy of Podmatch.com, where podcast guests get to link up with the podcast host, and if they're cool, they're in. And today's guest is definitely in because we got a fellow springtime of youth pilot, baby. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Springtime of youth with being a pilot, being able to fly, y'all. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Because she's a 25-year-old pilot turned social media creator with, at the time of this recording, at least 1.5 million TikTok followers. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. The social media platform that the host loves to avoid like the plague, at least the old school plague, not the modern day plague of COVID. And she's decided to join the business of immortality because she even published a wonderful book. So let's give it up for the lady who's the queen of all the cereal, the special K herself, the kind and heavenly Kay Hall.
Hello. And first of all, I do want to let you know, I was at 1.5 when we scheduled this podcast, but I am now almost at 2.2 million on TikTok and getting serious about YouTube. So I'm excited.
All right, sweet. I am sitting corrected. You love to see it. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. In this case, you'll love to hear it.
Exactly.
That's right indeed. So my goodness, as with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 17 and a half days long. And I probably got, I don't know, maybe 3 hours worth of intel about you for the folks listening. So since it's your first time on the show, mind informing the folks who is the wonderful Kay Hall herself?
Absolutely. I would love to. So yeah, my name is Kay Hall. I am a 25-year-old pilot currently living in Houston, Texas. And in short, I actually was employed by American Airlines through what's commonly called a cadet program during my training. So after I got all of my ratings and I started building my hourly requirement for the airlines, the pandemic hit. I lost my job. I didn't have a way to build flight time. I didn't have anything really to do throughout the day. And just like most people my age and some people my parents' age, I was wasting away my days on TikTok. So randomly one day I decided to film what it was like to get my airplane for a flight. And I actually showed a little bit of the takeoff and I posted the video and I landed at an airport about 3 hours later. I noticed it had 5,000 views and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I actually had no idea this was going to happen, but within the next 7 days, I was at over 100,000 views and I had a million questions. People wanted to know how I got where I was, what it's like to own an airplane, if I can travel internationally, how I could support them and give them inspiration and answer all of those questions. So I kept making all of my content and I answered as many questions as I could. I entertained as many people as I could. And it got to the point where all of the questions were very, very similar. Hence the reason I wrote the book, Becoming FlyWithKay. I wanted to answer all of those questions in an easy, fun, and exciting read for people of all ages. And I think that's exactly what I've done.
There you go. Well done, if I should say.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. She's a pilot and she's a chick, so she's a fly girl, yo. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed.
I like that one. That's pretty awesome. I'm a fly chick.
Oh yeah, should have saw that one coming. That's right, indeed. Corniness and puns and wonderful alliteration is known here. Yeah, especially cheesy corn, one of our greatest exports here going north. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. So my goodness, the wonderful book finally joined the business of immortality and answering folks' questions and taking on the mighty beast known as social media, and in a way, I guess, becoming a adopter at just the right time. Because I think Gary Vee actually was mentioned, like, hey, you need to get on TikTok. It was like right before 2020 hit, and then 2020 hit, and then the pandemic's like, oh crap, I gotta do stuff. Hey, TikTok, I can post something. Oh, this is actually working. So my goodness, how did it feel when it worked finally and you got to your first 100,000 followers so fast?
It was very, very exciting. And I will say, I actually mentioned this in the book quite a lot, which I don't know if I said is available on Amazon to anybody wondering. But the thing that was most interesting is I did get to my 100,000 views pretty quickly on my first video. And then the rest of my videos tanked. And for months, it was like, okay, is this really what I want to keep doing? I'm investing all of this time and money for all of these flights. And it was like, as soon as I got traction and I was on what's commonly called the For You page, all of my videos started doing well. And that was really exciting too. And then I'd get really close to a new threshold, like 250,000 followers or 500,000 followers or even 1 million followers. And I would be on what I call the TikTok slowdown. Everything would come crashing to a halt. It didn't matter what content I posted, how often I posted, how many times a day I went live. I couldn't get any traction until I got to about 10,000 away from hitting that new threshold. And then all of a sudden things were back to normal. And I'm still dealing with that to this day. I had to deal with it when I was climbing up to 2 million as well. And that was painful. But I'm making it work one day at a time. And now I'm more focused on YouTube anyway. So I'm hoping to build my empire there now too.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. That's right indeed. You finally broke through to 16K out of the goal of 100K, if I'm not mistaken. At least for the YouTube, anyway, right?
That's exactly right. Yes, I crossed over to 16,000 subscribers today, actually. Very exciting.
Ah, there you go. That's Sweet 16 indeed. Well, speaking of Sweet 16, funny enough, 5 years or so before that, you actually had a dream to become a YouTuber as a little tot. That was your goal. And funny enough, you originally had the setup for success. Your dad had you already raring to go, but fear kicked in. So what do you think contributed to that fear? Was it just the whole being a kid? It's like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, what do you think sparked all of that in the beginning and to where you are now, where it's like, oh yeah, it's easy as pie. Let me just find something to create out of thin air here.
I will say, yeah, it's pretty much right, actually. Literally out of thin air because I'm flying through thin air. That was funny. I liked that one. But I caught what you were putting down. Nicely done. I would say the biggest change really for me when I was younger is I didn't have the focus that I had when I started this social media journey, simply because, when you're a kid, you want to go outside and you want to play with your friends, or maybe you're dating a boy, or maybe you're just wanting to spend time with your family, or maybe you're like me. When I was a teenager, I loved to sleep. I still do, but now I don't have the time to do it. But the difference with it really came down to the fact that I had the mental capacity at this point to decide that this is what I wanted to do. And as I continued to grow up, I realized I had to keep working harder and harder and harder. It was never just going to be something that would be handed to me. So when I started down the social media journey when I was, 15, it was much different because it was like, well, my mom and dad helped me with a lot of things. They'll just help me with this too. That wasn't the case. And I quickly realized how difficult it was going to be, and it just wasn't for me at that time. Now here I am. I'm 25 years old. I got started with social media seriously about 2 years ago, and I knew it was all going to fall to me. I needed to pick the perfect name. I needed to make sure that my personality shined. I wanted to make sure my content was available to anyone and everyone, regardless of their age, their beliefs, anything. I wanted to make sure everybody felt safe when they came to my page. And that's why I'm starting to kind of explore YouTube and Instagram a little bit more too, just to get that reach. and I'm kind of rambling. But basically, I will say the biggest thing that changed for me is when I decided this is what I wanted to do, I was able to put 100% of my effort, my dedication, and my checkbook into it, which was good.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. So, my goodness, so did your dad also give you public speaking lessons, or did you take any public speaking courses? Because it sounds like you're really good at what you're doing. You know what the heck you're doing with the wonderful answers you're giving thus far.
Well, I do appreciate that. Actually, the answer to that question is no. Most of the reason why I talk as well as I do is because growing up, I was the kid in class that always got told by my teacher when my parents would go to their parent teacher conference that I talk too much. And so the more you do something, the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And that's kind of helping me out so far.
Ah, you love to hear it. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Oh my goodness! Well, speaking of flyer, got to the I think it was at about the middle of the book. I think it was chapter 13, where your parents actually were going on a trip to Belize, and you were tired of the whole wonderful, mysterious social media miasma, where you get to a certain point and it feels like you can't break through to the next level, and you figured out there was a new level of consistency you had to hit, if I'm not mistaken.
That's exactly right. It's similar to what I was just talking to you about before is I was on the TikTok slowdown. I was getting close. I don't even remember what the threshold was anymore. I got to go back and read my own book again. Read it 10 times in the span of a week, and now I'll have to go back and read that chapter again. But I was close to some threshold and just nothing was working. I was pouring even more time. Like I started working this business probably 10 hours a day. Then I went to 12, then I went to 14. And then at one point I was working 16 to 18-hour days, sleeping when I could because I couldn't fly. So, I didn't have to worry about that, which was good. And this is kind of around the time where I had upped how much more I was working on the business. I was getting up earlier. I was staying up later. I was doing more research. And I was so frustrated that none of my videos were getting on the For You page anymore. And my comment section was really dry. I just didn't have a lot of comments coming in. Well, people don't comment if they don't see the video. So that actually makes sense looking back. But it was one of those things where after a couple of weeks, it was just like, I've got this great career as an airline pilot waiting for me. Is this really what I want to continue doing the rest of my life? Do I want to keep stressing about the fact that my videos aren't taking off the way I thought they would? And I decided that was it. Nope. I'm going to build my hours. I've got my own airplane at this point. Shout out to mom and dad for that one. And, I was like, when you guys get back from your trip, I'm just going to keep flying. I'm not going to focus on making videos anymore. I'm going to get to the airlines and then I'll decide what I want to do with my social media presence afterwards. And as you know, he gave me the challenge and that changed quickly. Within about 5 days, I was right back on the social media train.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. Those 5 days of five. You love to see it. That's right indeed. 5 days of five on the dot. That's right indeed. Right on that dot. You love to see it. That's right indeed. Before the dots become sprinkles again.
Yeah, seriously. Got to strike while the iron's hot.
That's right indeed. In more ways than one. In more ways than one indeed. So my goodness. So what's life outside of social media for? Because I'm sure you probably have to do something to get your mind off of the TikToks and all the YouTube growth and things like that to try to stay sane. Since social media could probably drive you insane as a content creator.
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely say, burnout is legit. It's kind of what content creators will call it when they run out of ideas or they just get burned out. They're working 12 to 16-hour days for 3 weeks in a row. And finally, you wake up one day and you're just like, today is not the day. And you can just tell yourself that. And that's actually okay. I actually recently was invited and went to a content creator conference called Vid Summit when I was in Los Angeles last week. And there is a man named Ryan Trahan, and he mentioned in his first year of building up his YouTube channel, which I am currently in, he only took 7 days off in that entire year. But in his second year, he realized how much more it was important to kind of just get that clarity and keep his mind clear. And when he needed to take a day off, he did. And he's a little extreme. He took off 22 weeks in his second year. And I think it's really all about balance. I woke up today and I was in a good mood and I was having fun and I'm putting together videos and I'm getting ready for this fun podcast. But tomorrow I may wake up and just be like, you know what? I think today is just a day where I'm going to keep my phone down. I'm going to veg out on TV. I'm going to go for a nice long walk. Maybe I'm going to go see a movie with my friends or my family and just kind of reset. And I think that that is really, really important because burnout definitely affects us a lot more than people actually ever see on camera. We do our very best to make sure that that doesn't come through because we never want our, followers or our subscribers, or most importantly, our supporters in general to ever see a side of us like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. In 22 weeks, that's freaking huge. My goodness, that's what I'm talking about indeed. So did he like create the content in advance and then scheduled it out, or was it just 22 weeks flat where he just didn't post anything on YouTube?
As far as I can tell, it was one of those things where he had videos set up in the queue. And so he was able to just post like one of those per week or a couple per week. He does also have a team that works for him, so they probably were able to assist with that as well. And another thing too is, even if a content creator like myself takes a day off, we may not actually take a day off. We may just take a few hours off. We're still constantly doing research and trying to make our videos better and responding to comments. And I used to respond to every single comment and every single email that I received. And as you read the book, you know about the fire captain that sent me an email. And that's actually when everything changed. But in short, he reached out to me and we were talking earlier about the creeps. We don't want full creep. We don't want half creep. We want no creep. And his first sentence, yeah, I knew this was going to come back. His first sentence to me in his email was, "I'm not a creep." And so I was like, okay, I don't know where this email is going to go, but I kept on reading and it wasn't bad. I have hundreds of people a week ask me for a flight in my airplane. It's cool. I totally get that. And if I could, I would, but I can't. And so I said, all those nice things that I mentioned in the book. And he proceeds to go on and tell me that he knows better than I do. I can fly him and I need to come and pick him up. And so, that's unfortunately when I had to stop responding to everybody because it didn't matter how nice I was. I also had to deal with the fact that they wanted something, and if I didn't give it to them, they got mad. And that's another part of being a creator, is that can burn us out too. We can work hours and hours and hours on a video that we're proud of, and the hate comments can really get to you. On some days, it affects me more than others, but I'm human, and I think that's okay.
Oh yeah, you can say that again. Funny enough, that story, which is so true, actually reminded me of Will Smith's biography, where he actually it was like the third part of the biography, where it's like in his acting career after Jada turned 40 and going through a lot of turmoil, and his therapist mentioned, hey, like make sure you keep self-care in mind and focus on you. And a gym, he was actually in a gym by himself for a bit working out, and then a fan found him working out. He would have took a quick picture with them, and Will was like, no, I can't do it. He was fighting, but like it was like the angel on one arm and the devil on the other, and it was like, oh no, can't do it. And then it's like, oh come on, it's just a picture, it'll be fast. Then he hated himself later for it, but was able to get over it because he actually told the guy no. And the guy was disappointed, but hey, you're so right. Like sometimes you really have to just really take care of yourself and just focus on making sure, hey, you keep yourself safe too at that too on top of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's been times where I've been walking around the grocery store when this is probably maybe 3 months ago. This is one instance anyway. I went to the grocery store just on a quick jaunt. I didn't think anybody would see me. I went with my hair in a messy bun. I had no makeup on, and I was just chilling like, a villain. And some little kid comes up to me, and he's like, "Are you Kay?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Fly with Kay." And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Did you fly your airplane here to the store?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Oh, okay." And then he's like, "Can I take a quick picture with you?" And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I am like au natural right now. There is not a lick of makeup on my face, but you know what? I guess if this picture gets posted, maybe it'll go viral. I don't know. That's always the way that content creators are thinking. So I took the photo, and luckily he never posted it. So if he's listening to this podcast and he posts it, I'm blaming you, Dom.
That's good. That way I can continue to go viral. It's like, yeah, heard this going on podcast episode. It got lost in my phone and I found it. It's like, yeah, that's right.
Yep, exactly. So if it gets posted, I'm tagging you in it too, and I'm blaming you for it.
Sweet. All right. There we go. Responsibility. You'll love to see it.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yes, indeed. So since you've been on a tour promoting this magical book on flight and on mic, is there a question that you wish you'd be asked more often when you're on the guest side of the game on these podcasts?
I'm a very outspoken individual, and I really do kind of pride myself on the fact that I am willing to speak up when I want to. So I think the answer is really no. I love that people can actually go and watch my content on multiple different platforms. 2.1 million on TikTok, 118,000 on Instagram, just over that 16,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. And I'm just going to keep going. So I hope that if people have questions, they feel like they can reach out to me, check out some of my videos, leave some nice comments. And, if I have anything else, maybe you'll have me on another episode soon.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. You're welcome back on this podcast anytime.
Perfect.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
Love it.
That's right. Yeah. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. The phone on the bun guests are always welcome back.
Perfect. That is awesome. I might pick you up on that. Keep that in mind.
Hey, sounds good to me. And don't worry, all the buns aren't always honey. Sometimes it's cinnamon. It's okay.
I like honey buns personally.
There we go. That's right. I knew you're my kind of people. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So my goodness, with all this wonderful success you got and all the growth with you focusing on the YouTube, is there anything else that you're excited about for the future?
I have a lot of things I'm working on right now. There's a few things that due to NDAs I can't actually disclose yet, but I have a lot of things that I'm working towards. I am starting to consider getting a bigger airplane, which means more possibilities for additional travel, and I would really like to be able to give back to the community more. And my airplane doesn't hold like a whole lot of stuff, but I would love to be able to, do something for some charities or deliver some supplies to people and things like that. So that's definitely something we're starting to talk about more, as well as my 50 states book tour. We don't have official dates yet, so I'm not sure when it's going to be, hopefully next year, but I'm going to try to land in as many cities as I can, sign people's books, take pictures, answer questions, show them the airplane, and just have a good time with my fans and my followers.
F and F up the friends and followers, you love to say it, the 50 state tour, baby. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Even Montana, you love to see it. That's right indeed. That's right indeed.
I've never been there, but yeah. I'm still excited simply because I haven't ever been there. I'm still excited. It's okay.
Pun intended. Oh, man. So my goodness. So speaking of excitement, food usually brings folks excitement. So if your book was a food, what would it be and why?
Oh, my book was a food. All right, let's see. Well, I'm going to go based off of my personal favorites. I love Thai food more than anything in the world. So my book would be a plate of pad see ew, which is chicken, rice noodles, carrots, broccoli, and sometimes pineapple, and a sweet, spicy, like honey sauce. You can add whatever protein you want. You can take the protein off. But I feel like it would satisfy everybody. There's a salty factor, there's a sweet factor, there's a soft factor, there's a crunchy factor. And, everybody loves noodles, in my personal opinion. Most people you ask, they're going to say their favorite kind of food is some Italian food most of the time, or Mexican food. And so I think that my dish would definitely serve as many people as were interested in at least giving it a try. And I'm going to say the same thing for my book.
Oh, sweet. You'll love to eat it. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Using that noodle to get more boodle, you'll love to see it. That's right, indeed.
I like that one. That was good. I don't know that boodle is a real word, but I like it. You might hear me use it in my next live.
Yeah, funny enough, that was actually going to be the original title of the book called Think and Grow Rich if Napoleon Hill didn't come up with the title in time.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. That's actually cool. Huh.
Oh, yeah, it rhymed. It's like, hey, it may not have sold as much, but hey, it would have been freaking hilarious for a cover. So, yeah, use your noodle to get more Buddha, like noodle, spaghetti. Wait, what? Okay, all right. Gotcha.
Exactly.
That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Especially when it's spaghetti in the Serengeti. That's right.
Okay, well, I don't think that quickly on my feet, I guess, because I can't think of any cool rhymes. But you can be a macho taco. That doesn't really
Yep.
rhyme, but that's what I'm going with.
Oh, yeah. The Macho Man loves macho tacos, extra beef. That's right indeed. Yeah, we got the fish tacos, extra fish. That's right indeed. Extra omega-3 oils for you. That's right. Yeah, if you're pescatarian, dig it. That's right. Dig into the taco.
If you're pescatarian, fish it. Fish into the taco.
Yeah, fish it. Yeah. That's right indeed. The real fishing we need to be doing.
Oh my goodness. Love it.
She's a fly girl who knows how to fish. Yeah. F and F, baby.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before any more rabbit holes appear, coming down to the magical question every guest gets to receive, and we're going to make it extra special for you since you're one of those prodigies. So if you're to wake up tomorrow and you're 18 again, but this time you're in 2022, what advice would you give to yourself?
I'm 18, but I'm still on the current timeline. The biggest piece of advice that I would give myself is watch very closely how people treat you. And what I mean by that is I was never one of those kids that was bullied in high school, but I will say, even from some of my family members, they were not supportive in my social media journey. But they didn't come out and say that. They actually would tell me, are you sure you don't want to just become an airline pilot? Are you sure you don't want to just keep building your hours? Social media is a fad. You're going to be a flash in the pan. And even though they're not outright telling me to give up on my dream, they are belittling it. And being able to tell my 18-year-old self to watch people and watch how they treat you, especially if you're excited about something, go after it anyway. It doesn't matter what anybody else has to say. All you need to do is believe in yourself. And if you can believe in yourself, other people will too, because confidence is key, in my opinion.
Ooh, there you go. That's a gem right there. That's right indeed. A gem to go on your tennis bracelet, y'all. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Watch the way people treat you. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. You heard it from the future Rolex owner herself. That's right indeed. Watch the way people treat you. That's right indeed.
I've never had a Rolex, so maybe someday.
That's right indeed. Especially when you TikTok,
That's exactly right. I knew you were going to say something about that. I was waiting for it. Oh, man.
That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So speaking of TikTok, I'm sure you got other places where folks need to follow you and keep up with your journey. And for folks need to do just that, what's the best way for folks to do so?
The best way, by far, go to my website, FlyWithKay.com. You can read about me. You can see some of the other wonderful articles that have been written about me. You'll see this podcast link there as well. And if you scroll to the very bottom, you've got easy access to all of my social media. And just in case you forget what my website's called, my social media handles are all exactly the same. It's FlyWithKay. TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And the best part about YouTube, guys, I'm getting better every single day, which means so is my content. And I'm taking bigger and better trips. And that means that those videos are going to get bigger and better too. So I'm excited to go on this adventure with all of you. And I hope all of you guys will join me.
Woohoo! That's right indeed. She's getting bigger, better, and not butter. You'll love to see it. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So be on the lookout, y'all. That's right indeed. There will be camel humps involved. Put on your butterfly wings, y'all, and join Kay and the rest of the butterflies and be fly. That's right indeed. Fly with Kay. And be sure to subscribe to her email list as well so that we can stay informed in case people do something stupid, because social media is evil. That's right indeed. Social media is evil. They might spirit Halloween your account for no reason sometimes. It's happened to people.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately. It's happened to me a few times, but the good news is because I am friendly and age appropriate and I just love my audience, I've been able to get it fixed every time. So if you guys ever join my page and it's down, give me a couple hours and come right back. I'll have it fixed, I promise.
Woohoo! K love the kids. That's right, indeed. She's for the kids, y'all. That's right, indeed. So donate to the K for Kids Foundation. That's coming up in the future. That's right, indeed. K love the kids. That's right, indeed. K loves the fly girls. That's right. K loves the fly kids. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. With K's butterflies. That's right, indeed. That's right. The jewelry store says every kiss begins with K. Well, hey, every butterfly wing is flying with K. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. At least with
I
this
like
K,
that.
anyway.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah, with all the sauce. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. But before any more barbecue appears out of the rabbit hole, any parting words before we close up shop?
Honestly, I just want to say thank you very much for having me, Dom. I had a great time, and I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my story and hopefully make some new friends across all social media. The best part about social media is that you can be talking to somebody who lives thousands of miles away from you. And I think that that's incredible. That's my favorite part about this generation, in all honesty.
Thanks a bunch for gifting us with your time and your ears to this podcast. If you want to make yourself even more super special awesome, like, subscribe, and share this with somebody that you care about and spread the word so that way we can get this show out to as many people as possible and encourage them and inspire them to one day become published authors of their own and join the business of immortality. Advance others to advance yourself.